Okay, so if you spend any time looking at the real book, you're going to notice that there are lots of 2/5s. Some of them resolve to 1 chords, but some of them don't. I'll give you an example. Stella by Starlight. That 2/5, does it resolve to D minor? No. Oh, does that resolve to B flat major? No. Oh, does that resolve to E flat major? Yeah. Okay. So there's like 3 2/5s in the first few bars of Stella by Starlight, and only 1 out of the 3 resolves to a 1 chord. Okay. Another example. Moment's Notice. A lot of people find that tune difficult, right? E minor, A7, F minor, B flat 7, E flat major. 1 out of 2, but then does that resolve? No. Does that resolve? No. Does that resolve? Yes. Okay. So, well, Darn That Dream. Does that resolve? No. Doesn't go to A flat. Do those resolve? Well, that one eventually resolves to E minor. So again, it's like, 1 out of 3. So that's not great odds if you practice your 2/5s always resolving to a 1. It's good to practice your 2/5s separately. So how do you do that? And this is a very simple trick that always sounds good. Ignore the 5 chord. Let's use Moment's Notice. So if we get rid of the dominant chords, we have this: E minor, F7, E flat major, A flat minor, okay, D minor, E flat minor, D flat major, and we've got a minor 2/5. I'll talk about those in a minute. They're actually simpler than you think. Okay, so what are we going to play? Well, let's play a minor 7th arpeggio, and we'll do some kind of linkage into that E flat chord, which is in that case just like a little arpeggiolet going into an enclosure. So that's a 2/5 lick. And then we're going to do, okay, and we'll do a similar 2/5 lick into D flat major. Okay, it sounds rhythmically nicer, I think, to use the lower neighbor tone on the minor 7th. So 3, 4. Okay, might be a little predictable, so of course you can mix it up, but that's one very, very simple way of getting through the first few chords of Moment's Notice. And once you can do that, you can basically play the rest of the tunes. It's the same sort of pattern, right? And we have a little go down to A flat, and then we get the same thing again, only in a different key, and then back to the top. So I just want to demonstrate that works a lot better than using the dominants. If I just use the 7th chord arpeggio, it sounds like this. Then, oof, I hate it. Oh, horrible. Don't play that. It just sounds so kind of twee. So if you play the minors, it actually sounds a lot cooler. So this, when I sort of discovered this, I started thinking, maybe the dominant chord isn't a thing. Because actually, what we think of as a dominant chord can often be expressed simply by linking the 2 chord to the 1 chord, for instance. Or, to use a Charlie Parker line. That, by the way, is really just a flat major arpeggio, which you can think of as being related closely to the F minor. I'll talk a little bit more about those subs later. But the point is that there's none of that note. There's none of the 3rd of the dominant chord, B flat 7, so D in this case. It just kind of goes around that note, and it sounds a lot cooler because of it. Maybe what about this one? Doesn't use that note either. So therefore, you don't have to do that. You can go, and then not use that note at all on the 2/5. You can if you want, but you don't have to. And that made me think, well, actually, the minor chord rules everything. Now, there's going to be a lot of people who are Barry Harris students who go, oh, but what about the dominant scale? And I just want them to push that aside, because the dominant scale includes all of this stuff. But the thing about the dominant scale is that it kind of, unless you've gone through the Barry Harris stuff or maybe the David Baker stuff, you might not necessarily know how to apply this. So literally just by playing, minor 7 over the 2, or you could use major 7th if you prefer. Minor major 7th, that is, to give a more melodic minor sound, doesn't matter. You'll actually be able to come up with convincing sounding jazz language, I think, faster. Okay, so I'll give you another example. Okay, so this is Starlight, Starlight. Now this starts with a minor 2-5-1, but let's just take the 2. And what did you learn from my other video? Hopefully you learnt that E minor 7 flat 5 is just another name for G minor. So you just play G minor, right? So, okay, just do that. Don't need to play A7. And then, okay, and we play C minor. It's the C minor 9th with a little lower neighbour tone. Okay, and then we get this. I know I did play the 7th there. You don't always have to avoid it, but often it sounds good too. Especially as we're resolving to E flat major. And then we get another 2-5. It doesn't resolve in the normal way. It's a back door, so it goes E flat minor, A flat 7 going back to B flat. So we play something like this. Okay, so it's sum up: G minor, C minor, F minor, resolve to E flat major. Okay, now we're going to go E flat minor, back to B flat major, right? So I didn't touch the dominant at all on that one. I'll just do it again. We'll do a more extended G minor sound. Or play dominant there if you want. So that's like a C minor 6th as well. And then E flat minor, sorry. Can you hear how much better that sounds? I'll just play it with the dominant so you can hear how ropey the dominants sound. And then oof, I can't do it. I can't do it to you. It sounds horrible. I mean, who'd want to play that? This might sound okay. Oof, it's just not great. The minors sound so much cooler. They do to me. Okay, so a couple of things. If you get bored of the minors, you can also use their relative majors. So I did that a little bit in the case of this 2-5-1. So instead of going like, you know, F minor, some sort of linkage, E flat major, you could go A flat major, some sort of linkage, E flat major. So there's that Charlie Parker lick that I played. Like that. But I mean, this sub is really, for me, always associated with West Montgomery. You know, it sounds really nice again. And I suppose you could just look on the A flat major as being kind of an extended F minor chord, like a F minor 9 or an F minor 11 or something. All that stuff is available to you. If you go to the 13th, of course, you get more of that dominant sound because it's the same note as the 6th. So, you know, which is fine. If you want that sound, you can have it. So I find it very useful to think about it that way, as a minor chord or a major chord, but not a dominant. As weird as that might seem. Okay, I just want to talk quickly about substitutions. So most popular substitution, obviously, is the tritone sub. So if I play, for instance, a 2-5 and go into D minor, I could play G minor, of course. Like that, and that would sound nice. But then I could also use what's known as a tritone substitution. So normally we think of that maybe as a D flat 7. But actually, we can substitute that for a minor as well. Don't sweat too much whether it's a major 7th or a minor 7th in that minor chord. And then we just play like a minor arpeggio. Link it to 1 and lo and behold you've got Night in Tunisia. So that is... So yeah, using extended, and it shouldn't work according to theory because, you know, you've got a major 7th in there as well. But actually, if I just play the extended sort of B flat minor arpeggio, B flat minor 11th, it sounds mega, of course, because it has that resolving thing in it. And if you want to play the whole 2-5-1, so what you can do with that is you can obviously play G minor here, and you can play B flat minor here, and then D minor. So, but at no point am I thinking dominant, okay? And whether you use like straightforward Dorian on those scales, or, you know, minor pentatonic even. could use a G minor pentatonic. So and it sounds great, right? So you can use the minor seventh on that chord, or you can use the raised seventh, the melodic minor thing. Okay, and that sounds great too. So you've just got all the harmony from that. Anyway, I hope you find that useful. I certainly do. Happy playing.